Bom, a gente confere agora uma entrevista que a nossa colaboradora Miriam Spritzer fez com um ator que montou um musical sobre o Harlem nos anos 30. Conhecido como o berço da música negra, esse bairro histórico reunia músicos de jazz, poetas, compositores. É o quadro 360 de hoje, direto de Nova York.
You can give up pleasure driving and ditch your A-car too. And you need not be depriving yourself of things to do.
Hoje a gente vai conversar com o T. Oliver Reid sobre um show que ele está montando chamado Drop Me Off in Harlem. T. Oliver, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's my pleasure.
Such a pleasure. I saw the press preview for the Metropolitan Room of your show, and it was so much fun.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit, how did that idea come up?
The idea came up initially, I knew I wanted to do a show about 1930s Harlem, and the original idea was to do something that was just about the Cotton Club and some of the poets that were around at the time. And as I was doing research, I realized that there were so many more stories to tell, and I came across a sort of caricature or a drawing of Harlem at the time and all the different streets and where the clubs were. And once I saw that, I realized immediately, it was like, you have to do a show about these clubs and the music and the people who were in the clubs at the time. And I'd done some research and read some books on the time as well, and it was so interesting to find out who was going to which clubs, and that really sparked the idea.
When we think about Harlem in the 30s, that was kind of like the hottest place as far as
absolutely
music.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was a revolution in music.
Yes, and that's, everyone was coming to Harlem to hear what was going on. So you have the influx of jazz, and also the Broadway composers and writers that were coming from their Broadway shows, but were also being paid to write music for shows at the Cotton Club and other places. So you could come and hear all of these things and enjoy it with all different types of people, because downtown Manhattan, if you're going to see something on Broadway, the audiences and the performers were all white. So when you came to Harlem, you got a mix of, depending on the club you're in, some of the clubs were very mixed clientele, and some were a little less diverse, but you had a little bit of everything. So you really could, in a night, hear lots of different things, see lots of different people, do lots of different dances, and really sort of enjoy.
Classy uptown style. If Harlem moved to China, I know of nothing finer than to stow away on a train someday and have him drop me off in Harlem. Hey!
What would you say was your biggest surprise when you were starting this project?
The biggest surprise for me was just putting some of the music together, and we started putting all these things together and hearing the lyrics of certain songs that are written, and it's like, oh wow, this is not at all the story that we normally hear, because there's certain songs, one in particular, It's Only a Paper Moon, that's a Harold Arlen song. It's very fast. It's only a paper moon seen under a cardboard tree. So it's always like that, and you sort of bounce to it. But when you hear the lyrics, when you slow it down, it has a totally different meaning when you put it in the context of what was happening.
Harlem has those southern skies. They're in my baby's smile. I idolize my baby's eyes. And
I can't wait to see it. Hopefully, I see 2 songs, but I can't wait to see the whole thing.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna absolutely love it.
Thank you so much for taking the time to do this.
Thank you.
I'll definitely get home and research much more about that area now, because I'm so curious. But thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing your performance.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who makes it seem like heaven there? Makes it seem like heaven there. Makes it seem like heaven up